Hello there. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time, welcome. Am I fake? Is the question I'm asking today. And something that I've been thinking about recently is like what I'm creating here on social media and how it feels when I'm doing it and how it feels when I'm doing it throughout my week, every day, every other day. Making predominantly short form content is what I was doing, which I am switching from doing that as my priority. I'm gonna make long form my priority, but it just made me think about like how I got to this point that I'm at, even creating and making videos like this and speaking on things like this. And it also made me think about the situations that I found myself in and how I switched to extremes of things, and I didn't even recognize it consciously until I was able to do and have been able to do the shadow work and learn and grow through this process, where I'm like, oh wow, like I felt so unworthy and less than and not enough and uncertain and confused and lost in my past in college when I was going the more traditional route, and I was misjudged for that as, dumb, less than, didn't care about things, lost, and it was deemed negatively, right? It was seen negatively. And even when it was pointed out to me, that sort of projection and that reaction, I even myself started to be like, oh, I don't like how that feels. I don't like how it feels to not have interests or hobbies. I don't like that to be my answer, that I really don't have an answer, that I didn't really know what my hobbies and interests were, that I didn't really know who I was, what I was doing, where I was going. I didn't like how that reflected back to me and made me feel. But really, it already amplified insecurity that was already there, right? Unworthiness, doubts, fears, comparisons, feeling less than, feeling like just not enough, that already existed. Those relationships just amplified it for me. And so because of that, I then switched to, okay, well, now I need to know it all. And now I want to get really smart, and I want to make sure that nobody ever sees me that way again, right? Dumb, lost, less than, inferior, incapable, irresponsible, not enough. I was like, okay, well, then I'm just gonna go to this other extreme. So people saw me as dumb, not smart, lost, confused, inferior, less than, or at least that's what they projected. Then I switched to, when I internalized that, but I already felt that, right? But then I switched to, okay, well, now I just need to know it all. Now I need to have my ducks in a row. I need to hold everything together. I need to, do it all. I need to be perfect. I then started to hold myself to again, unsustainable standard, an unsustainable and really unfair perspective, fair, like a rule book, I guess you could say. And I realized that happened because I realized and understood in my past that when I was uncertain, when I was all of these things that I mentioned, people didn't take me seriously. They misjudged me. They judged me. They made me feel bad about myself. They highlighted what I felt bad about myself in, right? Not enough, unworthiness, lack, doubt, fear. They just enhanced it for me. And so they really pointed it out, and I didn't want to feel that pain even, right? I didn't want to feel how not enough I actually felt at that time of my life, how lost I actually was, how confused I actually was, how less than I really did feel, how much my relationships were being combative toward me, and how much I internalized certain things that people said to me that I wanted to pretend didn't faze me as much, or that I wanted to act like didn't hurt me as much, or that I wanted to act like, okay, well, that happened, but like, let's just move on. You just move on, and then you reach yourself in this now future moment. I'm seeing myself back then, and I'm seeing myself now, and I'm like, this is where that pressure comes from, because I don't ever want to be seen like how I was, right? So I go to the other extreme. I realized that I've been hiding parts of myself, not fully expressing myself. And we all mask, but I feel like in this situation specifically, like, I find myself not fully expressing who I am, not fully expressing the parts of me that are confused in this present moment, that are lost in this present moment, that are dealing with uncertainty in this present moment, that may be dealing with feelings and thoughts and things that are taboo around family, around my lifestyle, around me, and conflicting thoughts between what society thinks and what my family thinks and what people from my past think, and a lot of what people think. Because it's funny, like, the more you create, the more you get eyes on you, right? The more people start watching you, whether they're telling you that or not. Like, people are watching you, and I can feel that people are watching me, and I just also know that people are watching me. And so it's like, the more that, like, you see people watch you, like, the more it can kind of activate that subconscious reaction to want to feel like I have to act, right? Like, I have to hide certain parts of me and then show other parts of me. So I can show, I feel like I show all parts of me, right? But I think certain parts of me are more, they're not shown as much, right? Where it's like, I'll let my anger come out. I'm like, okay, fine, you can come out of this box for this video. And then I show the anger, and then I'm like, okay, now you have to go back, and I'm locking you back up. And the anger is like, what are you doing? And so these shadow parts then start trying to, like, self-sabotage me in my progress, because they're like, we want to come with you, right? We want to be included in this. We don't want to be left behind, and you're leaving us behind because you're not acknowledging that we exist still. You're just trying to act like you only exist in this one other extreme, when it's like, both of me, all of me exists. I've been hiding parts of myself that are bigger and parts of myself that are smaller, because I've learned from my past and even some of my present that, like, when I'm big, people judge me, they criticize me, they reject me, they hate on me. When I'm small, people judge me, they reject me, they criticize me, they hate on me. It's like, no matter what I have been, it's like people have always, like, decided who I was without seeing the full spectrum of who I am. In turn, I have then been like, okay, well, I can only be these certain parts, or I can only express to this extent. And if I want love, if I want affection, if I want to be appreciated, if I want to be acknowledged, like, I have to be a limited view of me, or a limited version of me, where now I'm like, oh my God, take off the mask, take off this other layer, because it does happen in layers. Take off this mask. Take off these masks. Let it be known that sometimes you feel uncertain. You can be uncertain, and I can be uncertain, and I can still move with courage. I can be unsure, and I can still move with confidence. I can be fearful and still choose to do it anyway. I can be having feelings of not being enough and show up for myself in confidence and courage and trust anyway. Like, one doesn't cancel out the other, and that's the whole point. Like, we're not meant to exist within the extremes. We're meant to exist within the middle, right? You have both sides of the spectrum, then you have the middle. You don't need to know it all, but acknowledge what you know, right? Acknowledge that you do know things, right? Acknowledge that you are aware of things. Acknowledge that you do have talents, you do have skills, you do have abilities, and also acknowledge that you don't know it all. right? Acknowledge that you're still learning, you're still growing, you're not perfect, you still have a way to go. Like, you're not always knowing everything, you don't always feel confident, you don't, like, it's like confident, not confident, fearful, not fearful, courageous, not courageous. Like, to every part of us there is an opposite part, right? And so it's just like, I'm realizing that all parts of me can exist, and if somebody cannot handle the wholeness of me, that's like not my problem. And also, I don't need to make myself only express certain parts of myself because I'm afraid that this person will think that and that person will think that, because the truth is, like, only insecure people are going to be uncomfortable with the wholeness of my expression, of my being, of my bigness, of my smallness, of my contradictions, which we all have. I've experienced being called fake before, and I feel like it's been something that is triggering to me. It kind of makes me feel like reactive, like something in me responds to it, because I feel like, again, my whole life people have like tried to make me out to be something I'm not, just because I don't fit the box or the confine or the structure that they think I need to fit. And I feel like also I've been called fake in situations where, like, I was not fake in a malicious intent, but I was fake just for like survival in life, you know, fake to fit in. Not fake in the sense of like, I'm fake and I'm trying to deceive you and I'm trying to hurt you and I'm trying to be all on malicious intent. No, but people have perceived me in that way and said that to me, so I kind of feel exposed and triggered when somebody's like, you're fake, because it's like, I don't feel fake, but I know I have acted in certain ways to fit in or to belong that are and could be seen as fake. So when I say, am I fake? It's like, am I fake? Am I not real? Because I have had masks, or I do have masks, or because I'm a whole person and people only decide to see me as one way, and I'm not really one way, but even I myself have tried to put myself in this box of being one way when I'm just not one way. And it's like, is being fake really, like, what is being fake really? You know, and are there different types of being fake? And honestly, I think there are. So, you know, I was creating short form content, and that was something that I was prioritizing over long form content. But now I'm just like, you know what? I don't actually want to do this anymore, because it doesn't allow my full expression, first of all, but also there is a sort of pressure you can feel to keep up with the algorithm, or like to try to like keep up with the motion or momentum that you can get from that. And it's also just like, when you're putting in all this work on these short form videos, and then you're not getting the traction or the reaction or the response, it's like, that's not the why I'm not doing it. But then it just feels like, okay, well, like, it feels like a siphoning. It starts to feel like a siphoning. And it starts to feel less like I'm creating and I'm feeling good, and more just like, why am I doing this? Nothing's happening. When it's like, maybe it's just the approach. Then I'm at the point where I'm deciding to take a different approach. And so I've been start, stop, because I've been working through my own journey, figuring out what's best for me, what works for me, and also just like coming to terms with needing to and wanting to be vulnerable, right? Wanting to share more of my experience and myself and my feelings and my real thoughts and my questions and concerns and comments and curiosities, without having to show up as always like the leader or the teacher or the wise one or the one who's strong or the one who doesn't need anyone, when it's like, that's not me. Like, that's a part of me and versions of me, but it's not like the full me. So I'm interested in showing more of me and expressing myself more fully, and I'm deciding to lean more into those that resonate with that will, and those that don't resonate with that won't.